So logic and reasoning is one of the most critical skills. Logic and reasoning is our brain's ability to plan, prioritize, problem solve, things like that. So if logic and reasoning is not a strong skill, this is how that may show up. One is a child who struggles to see the big picture. So that can be the big picture, like maybe a high schooler who isn't connecting that grades are important because that impacts potential college career, which would impact their ultimate career and ability to earn money and have a certain quality of life. Or it can be a smaller big picture. And what I mean by that is maybe a child who understands how to take certain steps in a math problem, but doesn't know why, doesn't know the big picture. They follow the steps, get it right. The next problem has a slight nuance to it, but because they don't know the why behind it, they follow the same steps, this time get it wrong. Having a hard time planning steps to solve a problem. So if a child struggles with logic and reasoning, it's very common that they get easily frustrated if something is too hard. Because if something's hard and let's say logic is strong, it might be hard, but there is an ability to break the problem down and work through it. When logic is not as strong, it just looks like a big intimidating problem and you don't know where to start. And that's where you can get emotional responses or at a minimum, just avoidance. Board games, right? So many board games that are strategy based. If kids are avoiding that can be a sign of low logic. Problem solving with peers. Younger kids who are trying to, negotiate for a toy or taking turns or things like that. If this isn't a strong skill, it often goes straight to anger, that type of problem solving, which isn't ideal, versus being able to negotiate. Finding jokes or wordplay confusing, or irony or things like, or sarcasm, not being able to pick that up. And one really common area this shows up would be struggling with organizational skills. It's kind of the knowing, especially for those middle school, junior high schoolers, knowing how to do school, right? Being able, knowing how to study, having the logic to know, oh, this will be on the test, but maybe not this. And knowing where to study and how to spend their time, but also time management, being able to plan, prioritize, those types of things. So if there's any struggles in those areas, it might be a sign that logic and reasoning in this area that needs to be strengthened. The good news is logic and reasoning can be greatly improved.